You're watching Gnar Par Pro, and this is a course breakdown of Shadow Pines. This was a temporary course. Par 62, nearly 8,000 feet. Let's get into it. Hole 10, par 4, 515, cart path left and right. This is another bomber's hole. Another one with that golf course feel. If you have a lower arm speed, you want to throw something out that fades through that line of trees because that gives you a manageable approach. If you have bigger power, you're throwing up the middle and you want it to crest the hill that the camera is almost getting to now. That opens up a wide swinging hyzer around the trees. Otherwise, you're going to have to test your luck going through these guardian trees. If you make it through here, you better have a good landing on your approach because the basket is perched up on this hill. It is a bit of a precarious green, but it's a very birdieable hole if you can throw 350. On to 11, the second par 4 on this course. It is a par 5. It is 820 feet. You think that sounds pretty gettable, and it is pretty gettable. But off the tee, you have to watch out for this initial gap. You just want to get something that goes kind of straight. And you don't want it to go too far left because, as you can see, if you hyzer left and skip, you're going to be kind of blocked off. You'd like your second throw to be wide open because then you could just kind of rip it out there. The problem then is it's more uphill than you realize. This big tree on the right indicates where a good second drive lands. But watch out for this hazard trap on the left, which is perfectly placed to eat up a really good second drive. Now, when you throw your second drive, you need to be a little bit mindful of what your third shot, or at least whatever your approach shot is going to be, because you have a very precarious green here. We have a bunch of saplings on the right that closes off the circle, and then we have hazard trap in the front and the left side. So you decide, you lay up in front of it, or do you go for it? If you go for it, at least in the hazard, you're putting from where you are with a penalty. But I think you're going to clear the sand trap. Go for it. Just go for it. You know you want to. Hole 12. This is a par 3, 320. There is OB on the right side. You want to throw something up the middle, like a forehand that's going to flare, or like a straight slight turn. There is a wide hyzer around if you have the power. But this is one of those kind of like tricky, easy holes where if you have the shot shape, it's right there in front of you and you could do it. But if you hit an early tree, you're gonna be fighting for your par. On to one of the signature holes here, hole 13, the water hole. It is 425 feet. It is picturesque. You're just throwing right up the gut here. Just throw something that's gonna finish left, and you don't really have to worry about the water. Unless you're a big, brave guy with a strong arm and you're like, I'm going to go for it. And you have to commit to throwing 400 feet and carrying all of the water. This is a good risk versus reward hole. In good conditions, you could bomb it there, but I tell you, you need a 400 plus foot throw to get there. If you play it safe, the pitch up is relatively easy, and it's just a pretty hole. Everyone likes a pretty hole. On to hole 14. It's only 300 feet, but don't let that deceive you. It is significantly uphill. Your goal is to throw something that just misses this pine tree left, fights up the hill. Don't turn it over because that cart path there indicates OB on the right side, and it loops all the way around the basket. Just throw something that misses a tree and hyzers toward the basket. The basket is even perched up on the second hill, which makes it even harder to get to. Tough birdie for sure. Now we're going to move on to probably another signature hole of this course. This is hole 15. It is 475 feet. Apparently disc golfers like throwing down hills, I guess. Your goal is to throw something that goes between this pine tree left and conifer tree right, that just flips up and goes straight heading toward the tree line. The road is OB, obviously. There is hazard sand traps left. You want something that gets out to about here where the camera is and then begins to fight out and will fade toward the basket. If you do that, you can get a very difficult birdie. But if you have the shape, it's right there in front of you. Ah, hole 16. 190 right in front of you. Little turnover putter shot or a little forehand, just real touchy. After a couple big bomber holes, you got to reset, throw something soft. If you try to ace run it, it'll go right up to that old golf green and slide away from you, and you see there is a hazard trap left. Easy hole. Get this too. Hope you're ready for a difficult 17 and 18. This is 17, 610 feet, par 4. You can go left side with a roller or a forehand or a turnover, but most people are probably going to go right side up the middle with something that fades left. Your goal is to really avoid that patch of rough trees and bushes in the middle. A good shot will swing in this way, maybe get you a decent skip into this woods. Once you're in the woods, you have to pick a line. You're kind of just hoping that you end up with a lie where you have a pretty decent sized gap. Your second shot is going to contend with these trees and low branches as you throw through these woods to get out back to the field where the basket is. Just to the left of this basket, there is a sand trap. It may play hazard, although it is not flagged right now. Play this one smart, because this is one of those holes here that could really bite you. If 17 was enough for you, wait till you get to 18. It is a par 4 through 635. Wide open field, just bomb it out there. Your main issue here is don't end up left in the trees. And if you're going to go for it, there is a OB area up here with the water and the reeds. That is roughly 330 to 360. So if you're going for the big shot, you better have 400 to clear it. Now, there is this perfectly placed bunker right here where a lot of those 400-foot drives just seem to just land perfectly there. One way or another, you're going to find yourself up here on this little plateau, and you're going to have to penetrate into these woods. So pick your most reliable disc and the biggest gap, one or the other, and throw it toward this basket. Be careful, there is OB all along the right side, and the right side of the green is pretty wooded. So stick to the left side, try to give yourself a look at it. This is a really hard birdie to get. This has been the Shadow Pines temporary layout. Permanent baskets and tees due in summer of 2022. Thanks for watching, and don't hit first available next time you're out there. You're watching Gnar Pro.